you ready? Are you ready for another video? Hi, my name is Mandy. This is Evie in her super cool Harry Potter Dumbledore's Army shirt. And today we are going to be filming my mid-year freakout book tag. Evie's now in nap. We'll actually see how long that lasts and how long it takes before she starts crying. If she starts crying, I will probably have to pause. This video has been going around BookTube over the last few weeks. It is mid-year, so everyone is taking a pause to see what they've read this year and how they feel about it. The first question is, what is the best book of 2019 so far? That was hard. I've had a little bit of a struggle with my reading this year, although in the last couple of weeks, I feel like I have really started enjoying books a lot more. The best book of 2019 was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. That book is about a teen mom. I am not a teen mom, but I'm a mom as well, and I really related to the character and I really related to everything that she went through in the book. It was fabulous. I highly recommend that you read it too. Best book of 2019 so far. When I first read it, it was the only 5-star review that I have given this year so far. Since then, I have actually had a couple of other 5-star reviews. The next question is the best sequel. I have read a lot of sequels this year, but I have been very not impressed by most of them. I don't know if the one I've chosen technically counts as a sequel, but I'm going to count it as one. That is Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare and a lot of other authors that I won't read through right now. You can go look at it on GOODREADS. I'll link it below if you want to see all of the other secondary authors from this book. Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy is full of many short stories that take place at the Shadowhunter Academy in the Shadowhunter world from the Mortal Instruments. It is the aftermath of what happens at the end of the last Mortal Instruments book and the character Simon as he is going through the Shadowhunter Academy. Simon was one of my favorite characters from the Mortal Instruments, so it was really fun that he got his own set of short stories all put into a book. I really enjoyed reading them. I enjoyed all the characters and the world building, the additional world building that we got in it. Question number 3, a new release that you haven't read yet but you want to. That book is Again But Better by Christine Riccio. As you see, I have gotten it from the library finally, and I will be reading it sometime in the next week. I've just got to finish all the other books that I am working on first. You know, I'm going to adjust the camera. Much better. Again But Better is by our very own booktuber, Christine Riccio. A lot of people are reading this, and to be honest, I wasn't all that interested in reading it because I'm not the biggest fan of her booktube videos, but something about seeing her vulnerability of becoming a new author actually made her more relatable to me, and because of that, I decided I wanted to read it. Another recent release that I haven't had a chance to read yet is The Rest of the Story by Sarah Dessen. I am very excited to read this new Sarah Dessen book. Sarah Dessen is one of my all-time favorite authors. She has some of my all-time favorite books. You know that some people haven't been as impressed by her recent books, but I'm willing to give this one a try. You're always willing to try your favorite author, right? Question number 4 is an anticipated release for the second half of the year. I don't know if I can really say this one yet, because I haven't read the second book in this series, but I really enjoyed the first, and I already can't wait for the third one to come out, and that is Supernova by Marissa Meyer. I read Renegades this month, and I loved it. It was another one of my 5-star reviews for the year, and I am anxiously waiting for the sequel, Arch Enemies, to become available from the library. And after that, I am excited for Supernova to come out. The second book that I'm anticipating for being released in the second half of this year is Maybe This Time by Casey West. I enjoy Casey West books, and she's got a new one coming out, so I definitely want to read it. Number 5 is my biggest disappointment of the year so far. If you watch my May wrap-up video, you can probably guess that my biggest disappointment of the year was Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. I used to love Cassandra Clare. I would eat up all of her books, And The Dark Artifices, this most recent series, really did not speak to me, but I kept going. And question number 6 is your biggest surprise for the year. I chose 2 for this. The first is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I know that so many people love this series, which is why I decided to give Victoria Schwab another chance after I was disappointed by This Savage Song. I didn't have very high hopes for it, but I loved that book. A Darker Shade of Magic was an amazing fantasy. I have had trouble getting into fantasy recently, but I did not have any trouble getting into A Darker Shade of Magic. The plot was interesting, the world was interesting, I liked the characters, it made me laugh. It was a great book, and I'll talk way more about it in my June wrap-up video. The next surprise I already briefly mentioned is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I thought that it sounded interesting, but I didn't have that high hopes for it. My husband and I listened to the audiobook when we were on a road trip, and let me tell you, after reading that, I am so excited for the next 2 books. I loved it. I hope that the sequels don't disappoint me. If you were disappointed by the sequels, don't tell me. Just smile and say, "Oh, Mandy, if only you knew," but don't tell me. Question number 7 goes along with that. It is a favorite new author or new to you author. I'm choosing Marissa Meyer. I read the Cinder books a couple years ago, at least the first 3, but I was pregnant, and so I'm not counting that as my introduction to her because I don't remember anything about them. But after reading Renegades, I loved the story, I loved the descriptions, and I remember that I did love the Lunar Chronicles, but I just don't remember anything about them, so I'm counting Marissa Meyer as a favorite new author. I definitely need to put rereading the Lunar Chronicles and getting that 4th book finished on my to-do list for the rest of the year. Question number 6 is your new fictional crush, and I chose 2 for this. You're gonna be tired of hearing about Renegades, but I chose Adrian from Renegades. I don't know, he was just so cute. He had glasses, which I love the nerdy look, but he was also just so kind and generous. He was a little delusional, I'm not gonna lie. Well, I guess delusional is not the right word for it. He's just hopeful and optimistic. And it was just so nice to see that in a character. I thought he was so adorable. And yeah, new fictional crush. I'm shipping him and Nova, even though Nova she doesn't know what she wants right now. The next fictional crush is Sam from the Diviners series. He starts out seeming like he's a little bit of a hard guy, been through hard things, but deep down he's just a softie, and I love that, and I love him. Him and Evie for life. Question number 9 is your new favorite character. For this one, I'm going to go with Emily from With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. There's a lot of repeats with books in this, but that's because I have struggled with connecting with books, and these are the books that I have connected with recently. Emily is a teen mom, and I just related to her so much. I loved her, and I loved seeing everything in her life. She was a great character. She was relatable. It's awesome. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. The book that I'm going to go with is Anne's House of Dreams by L.M. Montgomery. I read the first few Anne of Green Gables books this year. Anne's House of Dreams is her life as a newlywed after she marries Gilbert. These books have been out for almost 100 years, so hopefully I am not spoiling anything. She marries Gilbert. There you go. The part that made me cry was actually, hopefully I'm not spoiling anything here, but the first time that Anne gets pregnant, she actually gives birth to the baby who dies a few hours later. And as someone who is a semi-recent mom, that just hit me pretty hard. It made me so sad, especially knowing that there's a good chance that if that baby was born today, it could have been different, but that's all right. Other than that, the book was great. It was just really sad for me when she lost a baby. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. For that one, I'm going to go with The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. I don't know, I think I just read that one at the exact right time. It made me happy. I sped through it. It wasn't the most amazing book I've ever read, but it made me happy. I really liked the characters. In The Fill-In Boyfriend, you have a girl who has been telling all of her friends about her boyfriend, and they kind of think that he doesn't exist, but he does. And then he dumps her right before she goes to prom, and she can't deal with having to explain to them that he dumped her and having them think that he's not real. So she grabs a random guy who's sitting in the parking lot waiting for his sister and says, "Hey, will you be my date?" Cuteness and romance ensues, and that book just made me happy. Question number 12 is the most beautiful book that you have bought or received this year. For that one, I'm going to go with Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. This is one that I picked up at the thrift store, and it's just really pretty. I mean, you've got this rose, and I don't know if these are stairs or what these are, but I like them. And oh yeah, they're stairs. She's going down the stairs. I see the person right there. It's just gorgeous how it all floats together. I haven't really bought that many books this year, so it was a little hard to choose. The next question is books you want to read by the end of the year. I've already mentioned a few in this video, so I won't mention them again. But one series that I really want to try is the Caraval series by, I didn't actually look up who they're by. Let me look up who they're by. Thank goodness for GOODREADS. Okay, Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I don't know much about this, but I do know that the last book came out this year and a lot of people were reading it. Sometimes I just like being able to read through all the books in a series in one go instead of having to wait. And so that's why I'm excited to try that, and I definitely want to read that by the end of the year. But oh man, I cannot believe that June is almost over. July is coming up, and if all goes right, we're actually going to be moving into our new place in July. We are buying a condo. It is our first one, and I am so excited about it. We're going to have a third bedroom, and that means I get a library. I get a much better setup than this little shrinky bookshelf. I get to set out all my books again, and there are a lot of books that I've been wanting to read, but that I have and are in storage. I am so excited. It's gonna be so great. But anyways, because of that, I might not be so active in the next couple of weeks. We're moving, trying to get everything packed up. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed what you saw here today. If you did enjoy, feel free to click subscribe. Feel free to follow me on my social media, which I will link below. I hope your summer is going great. Mine is so far, and have a great day.